And now it's time for Windy City Sports Talk. And your host, Ryan Young. Hello, Chicago! Welcome to this live Monday, December the 13th edition of Windy City Sports Talk. I am Ryan Young. For the next half hour, we're going to recap and preview everything going on in the world of Chicago sports. You want to follow me on Twitter, it's at ringside_rep. Of course, got some recapping to do, got some preview, or no preview, and all the Chicago teams are off today. So this is how my morning went. I hope your guys' weekend was good. So then at least someone can be happy. But anywho, so start off with, of course, I go to bed, I watch I watch Shameless, and I watch Walking Dead, and I get all that stuff done by about 10:30 to 11. I'm like, yeah, it's time to go to bed, because I catch the bus, to go to Snap Fitness at like 6:30, or like 6:15. So I go to bed, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a good night's sleep. The frickin' plow guy comes out and plows at 2:33 in the morning, which then leads me to not being able to get back to bed till about 4. My alarm was always on my alarm clock. And that usually means that you have to get up, and by that time you're like, okay, screw it, you're up anyway. But now it's on my phone, where it's easy to just turn it off, and then just shut your eyes for one more second. Well, another second ended up being an hour. So because of the snowplow that decides to plow at 3 in the morning, I missed my bus to go to the gym. So then eventually I went at noon. So that was the start of my day. And then, of course, I have people telling me that what I do is pointless, pretty much. Now, I know I don't get a lot of listens. I don't get a lot of views from what I do with the Ringside Report and what I do with this show. But I tell you what, I put 110% in every goddamn thing that I do. It's just what I love to do. And yes, I only get one listener, one view. You know what? As long as I can please at least one person, that's fine by me, because I'm doing what I love to do. And until I can actually afford to go to school, because, I wasn't good, I wasn't smart in high school, I wasn't offered anything to be able to do what I want to do, but I know I'm good at what I do. People have told me that, and I know I'm capable of doing it, because I've had people come to me for their jobs that I've had for broadcasting. I didn't go to anyone. They came to me. Except Pow. I kind of offered that. But anyway, the thing is that it's irritating to me that people tell me, oh, you're just wasting your time. You know what? It's not wasting my time, because I love doing what I do. It keeps me focused. I could be out somewhere doing drugs or drinking, because apparently that's all they do around here, or in this town and anywhere else, is that kind of stuff. So, what I do is I love talking sports, and I love talking wrestling. And to be able to talk them things, I gotta cover those things, which also keeps me out of trouble. I've never been a troublemaker to begin with, but I'm just telling you that. It's very irritating for people to tell me that what I do, oh, no one listens. You know what? I appreciate the people that do. Nick Alexson's one of my biggest fans and one of the people that listen to this show. And I appreciate that more than anything, that he listens to my show. So I want to thank anyone that has took the time to listen, watch, anything that I do, because I put 110%. If you see me not give 110% on something, then find it, because everything I do is guaranteed to the point. Where Ringside Report, I had it with me and Brandon. That didn't work out. I have me and Tony. Yes, Tony's on the phone. Yes, he can barely understand him, because what we do it, and I do it I watch every goddamn show I have to make sure you folks get the results. Do people watch? No. Do I bitch and moan besides that? No. But I'm just sick of this stuff. I love doing what I do, and I'm not going to stop doing what I do. So if I annoy you, and if your timeline is completely blown up of my stuff, good. Watch the shit. But I've never told people to watch it. And if not, delete me. Because I don't care anymore. Because you know what? I probably lost half a fan base when I left Powell, because I'm sure certain people painted me at a different picture than what I really am. Because I'm not. Because I've told everyone the facts about what happened. Okay? I left purely because of Brandon. The reason I left, and you know what? I told someone this weekend, if I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have left. Okay? I honestly wouldn't have. Because I love doing this, what I do. I love commentating, I love doing Inside the Ropes, but also Scott's gone also. And I couldn't do that show, and I couldn't do that, and the only reason he left mainly was because I left. So you know what? I may direct a good thing, but you know what? I'm not a guy to just sit and go, oh, well, I'm sorry, I think I should go back. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll find my way. I plan on going to school next spring, 2018, and earning my spot and doing what I have to do in the broadcasting business to do exactly what I want to do. And that is, my dream is to be a play-by-play announcer for a Major League Baseball team. And if that, I'm going to try everything in my power to be able to do that. Because that's what I love. Baseball is my passion. If you folks have listened to 1 second of this show, you guys know that. That's what I want to be. I mean, you know what? Until then, I got to work a shitty frickin' job for another year, 2 years to be able to earn it. Yes, I've had gambling problems, the reason why I'm not in school and graduated already. That is the reason. And you know what? I can't help that. I'm trying to help it, but you got enablers all around you. What the hell are you supposed to do? I try my best to do what I have to do. Let's start this thing off by You know what? Before we do that, let's just start off with the Windy City Sports Minute. This is your Windy City Sports Minute for Monday, December the 12th. Well, the weekend kicked off okay for the Blackhawks. They got a win Friday night, or lost Friday night 1-0 in an overtime to the Rangers, but then came back last night and got a 3-1 win over the Dallas Stars. For the Bulls, the Thursday night, an upset win over the San Antonio Spurs, snapping their 13-game winning streak on the road. And then the Bulls also were home against the Miami Heat and beat them on Saturday 105-100. Bears are back on the field. On Sunday, they lost to the Lions in a final of 2017. Looked like a possibility to be able to play spoiler, but couldn't do it. They'll try to do that this Sunday as the Bears welcome in the Green Bay Packers. That is your Windy City Sports Minute. Now back to Windy City Sports Talk. Okay, we're back here on Windy City Sports Talk. Let's start this thing off by recapping the weekend. Let's start off with the Bears, who had a pretty good weekend in Detroit. You thought they were going to come out. They played very well early. You saw them be able to go up against Matt Stafford. You thought, okay, maybe there's a chance. But in reality, did you really want to see them win that game? I mean, in all honesty, did you want to see that? And, of course, they came out, they played okay. And then all of a sudden at the end they were unable to, they had a lead, they gave it right back up to the Lions, and the Lions ended up putting the final at 20-17, which I think really is a rough, I mean, it's a game that you thought going in that the Bears had no opportunity of winning this game. And I think it's really I mean, you knew they weren't going to come in and win, and the Lions were able to do that. And of course, Matt Stafford got hurt. It came out today that with that injury, he's going to have to wear a glove the rest of the season, but apparently he will be good to go in the game against the, I believe it's the Giants next week. They're in New York. So that's going to be a big game for them, and I think it's going to be, I mean, the Lions obviously are very close to winning that division. Of course, the Packers were able to win, and then you had a lot of different things that occurred, but the Bears looked okay. I mean, against a team that is supposed to have the best team in football, Matt Barkley has shown a lot over this almost this last month to prove, hey, we're not half bad. And they haven't been. They've played pretty good. And I mean, even though they probably should be 2-0 after that tough loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then they played very good last week, and then this week they almost beat the first place team. So really, there's a possibility right now that this team could be 3-0 under Matt Barkley as their quarterback. Jordan Howard has done a tremendous job also. He's played exceptionally well. So I think this team has not shown, I mean, this team hasn't been dreadful, and you've seen glimmers of hope. And so I think that was a game that the Bears obviously could have won. Going in, you didn't think they were going to be able to win that game, but they did. They played well, and I mean, unfortunately, they couldn't get the job done. So a big game and of course, Matt Stafford. That injury could have been key, but that Lion defense is tremendous, and I think that's obviously what's got them in first place in this division. And of course, I mean, you didn't even know Anquan Boldin was still in the league. He's been not really relevant for the last couple of years, and then all of a sudden he does all of that stuff. So, I mean, just a tremendous tremendous job by the Lions. They played well, and now they still stay up front in first place in the division. And now they'll try to obviously keep that division to them, and we'll see how they'll be able to hold that up. So the Bears and also the Packers, like I said, they came out absolutely whomped the Seattle Seahawks. Now, are the Packers in too big of a hole to be able to come out of it? Now, there's a strong possibility it is. There might be that they're not going to be able to come out of this hole because they had too bad of a rough start. And if that's the case, then, I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I'm very high on winning, they were able to dominate yesterday the New Orleans Saints. And now they have a game against Dallas next week, and then they get a chance one more time to face New Orleans. I think in New Orleans, I think they're in New Orleans. So, I mean, they got another opportunity. So right now they hold the keys of the kingdom. They're looking to be the Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to being the two teams in the NFC wild card. I think that's two teams that, I mean, the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been tremendously well. So, I mean, that's what's helped them also. But you got Jameis Winston doing a great job as such a very young quarterback. So I think, I mean, I always like to see them young, fun teams. Now, do they have any chance of winning the Super Bowl? You'd say no, but you've seen a team, especially locally, the Packers in 2010, they won. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. Was it 2010 or 2011? And they won the Super Bowl in as a 6th seed, which means you have to play 3 weeks on the road and then go to the Super Bowl. And they were able to do it. So that's 6 seed. Ain't out of the realm of possibility. Now the Giants are starting to wake up, and that defense, a lot of people have doubted over the years. Now the defense has been able to wake up. They're starting to feel it now. They got what a win last night against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are kind of my team. They're kind of the team I'm kind of rooting for this year to try to win the Super Bowl. But the last couple of weeks, Dak Prescott has definitely been an open book where he started to look more like a rookie than he has of looking like the guy that led this team to 11 straight wins? So, I mean, even though they won last week against the Minnesota Vikings, they still didn't play the best. And then, of course, they go into this game where they still didn't play that well, and they ended up losing. So, I mean, it was a game, I mean, look how the end of that game was. He was very rarely being able to get to Dez Bryant. Look at that final play pretty much. Threw it to Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant finally makes the catch, and then it's fumbled, and then they lose. And the Giants, now let's see. The Cowboys are 11-2. The Giants are both of their losses. So if them two teams have to meet in the playoffs, you know how big that's going to be? Because I believe if the Giants say the Giants fall to 6, them two teams could meet in the divisional round, but then if they stay at 5, and them two teams get on a hot streak, then you could see them two in the NFC Championship game. Which, how big would that be to see the storylines going into that? Say the Vikings win out, or not the Vikings, the Cowboys win out, and then you see that as the NFC Championship game, and you even see the memes on Facebook today saying, hey, it's the Cowboys who are would be 14 and Giants. Because their 2 losses came to the Giants. And that'd be the story that whole week going into that game. Yes, it would be in Dallas, but they proved last night, or that wasn't last night, the first week 1, that they were able to win in Dallas. So how big of an opportunity is that for the Giants that Eli Manning and, Odell Beckham Jr. is like the Conor McGregor of the NFL. Like, he's a guy that you're just like, you are an idiot, you're stupid, but what he does on the field, and the Giants know this, he can get away with it, because he's that good on the field. He's that good. And he was able to get another nice touchdown, last night. So, I mean, you can look past all the antics and the stupidity and all the other stuff he does to be able to see him do what he's able to do to win a football game. So you put all this antics, and just like Conor McGregor, you put all that stuff behind, and he goes in and does his job tremendously well. So that's what you get. So just a great job by the. So I think it's going to make fun for a fun playoff. Now the Packers still have to jump the Vikings. The Vikings own the tiebreaker, and I think it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be too tough for the Packers to get in. I think they could win out, but they still need other teams to lose. Now the Giants aren't losing, so probably not the 5 seed. But maybe they get the 6th seed. You need to see them, and they face Dallas next week. And a lot of people are saying that Dallas, the way they've played the last couple of weeks, they're going to play the same exact way next week against the Vikings, against the Buccaneers, that are going to lead them to winning, or to lead to them to their 3rd loss. And then the storyline starts hitting, and you've already got, Jerry Jones got questions last night already. What about Tony Romo? Now, you knew this was going to come up, and I could just picture this story ending this way. By everyone saying... this is just like a movie waiting to happen, you know? A great young rookie takes over the starting job after starting quarterback gets hurt. Takes him to 11-1, gets him clinched to the playoffs. Don't win another game. Here comes Tony Romo, back onto the starting quarterback, back. Gets him, wins the Super Bowl. Now, what a story would that be? Because I'm sure if they lose to Tampa Bay, and even last night in that loss to the Giants, people still were yapping, oh, well, we need, and they're already at, and we want Romo. And you can guarantee, even though that game next week, I believe, is in Tampa, it could be in Dallas, I don't know. But you can guarantee there's going to be people. But then if Tony Romo comes in, plays a drive, and gets intercepted, then they're going to want Dak back. So you're not really sure what you're going to get there, but there's more. It seems like there's more storylines this year in the NFL, and it's a lot because the Cowboys are relevant again. You haven't seen a Cowboy team be relevant in years, at least since I've been watching football. So it's great to see that, and I'm glad for that. And that's my pick right now. I want to see them in the Super Bowl. I'd like to see them too big. Like even the Raiders would be fun to see the Cowboy Raiders Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I mean, the 2 markets that have been dying. Like you just got Indians Cubs, 2 of the suffering franchises in baseball. Get 2 of the rough. I mean, the Raiders were in the Super Bowl in 2002, won against the when he faced John Gruden again, and the Cowboys, they haven't been there since the Irvin Aikman days. So I think that would make for such a great opportunity. And we'll see what'll happen there. But there's a lot of storylines that can come out if the Cowboys don't win this weekend. And of course, some other news coming out. Of course, I've been yammering away here today. So the Bears lose to the Lions 2017, which you expect. I had that shot a couple weeks ago. I had them losing to the Niners. They were able to win. The Jets almost lost to the Niners yesterday. And the Niners only have 1 win. But the Jets did a tremendous job to be able to come back. I mean, it's dreadful. They're like the Chicago, New York Jets because they have Marshall, they have Forte, they might even have Cutler at season's end or next year. So that team's interesting. But I had them losing to the Niners and losing to the Lions, so I got one right. And, of course, this weekend against the Pack, which I won't be able to really watch that game because I got commentary. Got to get back to the old SSW, back in my roots. Going to be fun. I miss it. I miss doing it. I mean, as much as I miss it, I loved having my Saturdays back. Now that I've had my Saturdays back for months, I do miss it. I miss having something to do. Keeps me out of some trouble, at least. So that's it. Some news out of the headlines today. About an hour ago, it was announced, after just signing an extension about a week ago, that Jeff Fisher has been fired as head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. I want to say yesterday they lost about 42-0. Not well. They didn't play well. It was an ugly game. And the Los Angeles Rams, everyone thought maybe them coming this year and Jared Goff would really help this team, and they really haven't. It has been absolutely ugly by this football team. And now they're hoping they can be able to bounce back, get it going tomorrow, or getting going sometime. But, I mean, after signing an extension, and the key thing I heard on the radio today, his extension was not guaranteed money, which is almost like a non-extension. And that's why they fired him, because they didn't have to pay him anything. And he has the most losses as an NFL football coach. But has he ever really done anything with that team? I mean, even as a Titans head coach, they weren't very good either. So, I mean, you have 2 teams that he's coached that really have not been good. They've been dreadful. Didn't the Titans make it to the Super Bowl 1 year? I'm going to look up Jeff Fisher's stats here, as I'm going to clickety-clack. So, let's see here. Let's see. Wikipedia is always the place to go. let's see. He was the Bears defensive coordinator assistant in '85, so he was there when they won the Super Bowl. Defensive coordinator with the Rams in '91, Niners, Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans. He was there. He was the interim head coach with the Oilers in '94, '95 to 2010. He was the head coach. He was a Super Bowl champion in Super Bowl 20, which I believe was the year of the Bears. Oh, no, that was as a player, excuse me. He won a Super Bowl in Super Bowl 20 as a coach. Was an NFC East champion. Was an AFC Central champion. NFC West. They made postseason appearances in 92, 93, 99, 2000, 2002, 3, 7, and 8. So the Steve McNair, Eddie George years, I think they made a couple, but really nothing really too big. So he never made it to AFC South. So an AFC champion, and he was an AFC champion in 1999. So 1999 they made it to the Super Bowl, just unable to win the big one. Because and I'm sure he'll find another job, but tough luck for Jeff Fisher. Other news in Major League Baseball today, Kenley Jansen, when I was at Snap Fitness, I went through the ESPN scroll. Kenley Jansen's had a 5-year deal and is back with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, there was a lot of rumors that he was possibly going to sign with the Marlins, who apparently were eyeing some big contracts, but I don't think that are going to get some big bullpen help, but they didn't go for that. They ended up going with on the other side of things. I don't know if they even signed anyone. I think they signed a pitcher. But look at the Cubs also signing Koji Uehara, so their bullpen's set. Now, I think all they need to really make any move now is to try to find a fifth starter, because now they really don't have any lefties in the bullpen anymore. They have Travis Wood, but then past that, Mike Montgomery's now your number 5 starter. So you got to try to get him back as you'd like to have him in the bullpen. So one more starter would be just peachy, and I think they've done a great job, because being able to add Wade Davis as your closer and being able to add Koji Uehara as one of your relief guys with Strop, Rondon, Carl Edwards, I think that is a tremendous bullpen. And I think this team is built everywhere to win. Again, you lose Dexter Fowler, which we didn't even talk about that. Dexter Fowler did sign with the Cardinals. And I said, I wish I could thanks for helping us win a title. I can't wish you the best of luck because I want to see the Cardinals lose every possible chance I get. So I can't wish you good luck, and the Cubs will see him opening day in St. Louis. And I'm sure he'll probably get an ovation from the Cardinal fans now that he's there. And Hayward moved to Arizona to hopefully help his swing. So a lot of interesting things are hopefully going to come out of this. And hopefully we get a chance to see the Cubs and Cardinal rivalry be fun again. I don't see the Cardinals being on the same wavelength as the Cubs, but we'll see if they can get a wild card. But that's still got a lot of time till then. But opening day, the Cubs will be in St. Louis. The first game for Dexter Fowler at Busch Stadium as a Cardinal will be against the team he just won a World Series for, and they will not give him the World Series ring that day because Cubs won't get there unless they decide to. But the Cardinals won't be in at Wrigley till I think June, so I think they'd rather probably do it at Wrigley. But it would be fun to stick it to him and give it to him there. Okay, so we got about 6 minutes left. We still got some recapping to do. The Blackhawks were on the ice on Friday. Or no, we're gonna go with Bulls first. Bulls Thursday night. Holy Toledo! I went on Friday's show not knowing what happened on Thursday, and I'm like, that's it. Bulls are going to lose. Bulls are going to get blown out. They're going to get trounced. It's over. It's done. By the San Antonio Spurs who won 13 in a row on the road. No, they came out, put their nose to the grindstone. Really an ugly game by the Spurs. And Greg Popovich even said it, just a bad game overall by them. But the Bulls were able to bounce in, play a tremendous game, and won by a final of 95-91. Tim Duncan, who's getting back tattoos and all that stuff, still playing. Besides him not being there, you got Parker Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, and the Bulls were able to come out and play. That's the Bulls team that I think, if you get glimpses of that night in and night out, this is a team that has a great chance to be that's the team that could be a 2 through 5 seed. That's the team we saw. And then they're able to come out Saturday night and have another good one against a young Miami Heat team. And they're able to win that one. They played very, very well. I thought the offense was there. The Heat kind of came back. The Heat are a very young and rebuilding team, and I think Dwayne Wade gets up for those games because he's played very well in both games against the Miami Heat this season, especially the one in Miami, and then obviously the one just on Saturday night. So I think a very well played game by the Bulls, a very good weekend overall, and I want to see again. They have a back-to-back coming up this week, Thursday and Friday, against the Milwaukee Bucks. Which the Bucks are getting some national TV. That game will be on TNT. But I'm gonna be clicking clacking again. Why is there privacy? I don't know. Okay. Take a look at the NBA standings here. The Bulls, if the playoffs started today, and I know we only have about 4 minutes left and we haven't even talked Hawks. If the playoffs started today, the Bulls would be 5th seed. They are a half game back of the Knicks, so they would be playing the Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. The Bucks, who are starting to play very well, they've lost 2 in a row though, they are 9th. The Bulls will be playing, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference, which the Wolves are 6-18, so they are not having a good year. That was going to be my team, and of course Tibbs returns to the United Center. But I think a 5th seed right now. They're a half game ahead of the Celtics. So I mean, just keep playing well, stay in that playoff race, and I think this team, when their big games count, this team is there. And they're only a half game out of the 3 seed. So this could easily be changing, and especially an easy week, you got to think. With 2 against the Bucks that are struggling, a great opportunity. But of course, you don't want to get into standings because the playoffs don't start obviously till April. Okay, now let's talk about the Blackhawks. Friday night, a tough one. Antti Raanta. I have to talk about Henrik Lundqvist, and it's Antti Raanta. What a game! Overtime, a 1-0 Rangers win in overtime over the Hawks on Friday. But then the Hawks yesterday bounced back and played a tremendous game against the Dallas Stars. The one against the Rangers, we thought the Hawks and Grandpa Hossey got a goal, but it got taken back. But it got taken back on he was offsides. So they reviewed a nice challenge there by the New York Rangers. Rangers are playing very, very good hockey right now, and now the Rangers win that one 1-0. But the Hawks bounce right back there, 3-1 at this point. I know we got 2 minutes left. I'm going to look up the NHL standings here, because I know the Hawks are one of the best teams. The Eastern Conference right now, the Canadiens are 19-6-3. The Hawks have 40 points, so they are 1 point behind them. They have a big game, I think, tomorrow night. They play tomorrow against New York. They play the Blues, and I believe Saturday night they return home and play the Blues because they have a 3-game East Coast trip. I believe that's in St. Louis. But so they are 1 point ahead of the Blues in the Central Division. So we'll see what happens there. So I think should be fun to see what all happens out of the NHL and the NBA, as both teams had a very, very good weekend. Again, remember last weekend was good and the week struggled. So again, no Chicago sports tonight. Both teams are back at it tomorrow. The Bulls are at home against the Timberwolves, and the Blackhawks are on the road in New York. So they get a rematch against Antti Raanta. I don't even know if that's his first name. I know that's Ranta's his last name. But to try to beat them at the Garden. Give them a little dose of their own medicine. They play New York, Brooklyn, which is the New York Islanders, and I want to say that last game's against the Blues on Saturday. So should be fun. No football or no basketball, no hockey or basketball tonight. We'll be previewing those 2 games tomorrow with some other news. We will be live tomorrow. I was going to do it, but I'm going to the movies tomorrow to see Arrival. The one where Tuesday's like my movie day, and I'm sure I'll give you a review on that. That'll be tomorrow's show. So previewing Bulls-Wolves, previewing Blackhawks and the Rangers, and I'm sure I'll have a movie review as always. Everyone, thank you for listening and enjoying my rant. I'm Ryan Young. We'll be back tomorrow at 3. Have a great day, Chicago.